Hello, everybody. Great to be with you today at your Rotary meeting. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. My name is Joe Berninger. I'm the Executive Director of Cooperative for Education. We are a longtime Rotary partner. I'm also a Rotarian from the Ohio Pathways Rotary Club, Cincinnati, Ohio. We're in District 6600. Real pleasure to be with you today to share this Rotary Fellowship. I always think what better way to start a day or have lunch or finish a day than with Rotarians, with Rotary Fellowship. So I'm going to speak to you today about a project that is very near and dear to my heart. I've spent many years, I'm actually one of the founders of this program, and it's called the Guatemala Literacy Project. We've been in operation for 25 years, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we've been doing in Guatemala. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today at your club. Okay, so I'm going to share some pictures here. So just a second while I get the visuals up. There we go. Okay, just one more second. Make sure I can see everybody. There we go. Okay, and one more second here. There. Okay, so you should be seeing RISE scholarships and the Guatemala Literacy Project. Okay, so first a little bit more about me. So this is my brood here in Cincinnati. I've got two teenage boys, my wife, a little daughter, and our dog. I myself was born to an education family. My parents were both teachers. They imbued in me the value and the importance of education from a very early age. And I've dedicated a large part of my life to trying to bring educational opportunities to people in need. So here's the Guatemala Literacy Project. The Guatemala Literacy Project is the largest grassroots, multi-club, multi-district, multi-country project in Rotary, not directed by Rotary International itself. So this is comprised of 600 Rotary clubs from 80 Rotary districts, 8 countries, and we've been active for 25 years. I often ask the question, do you all believe that Rotarians working together can change the world? Can we as Rotarians change the world? Is that possible? So I think, of course, the answer is yes, it's definitely possible. Look what we've done with polio. Look what we've done with other problems in the world. When we combine our talents, we combine our treasure, we combine our time, we can literally move mountains. I think our power as Rotarians is our collective power. And so here's what just a bunch of Rotarians working together have achieved and accomplished over 25 years in Guatemala. 225,000 students benefit. So that's our McDonald's number. And that's enough to fill your average sports stadium about 5 times over. 207 textbook projects, self-sustaining textbook projects, 94 reading programs. We're teaching kids to read earlier, better, and faster. 53 computer centers, educating 14,000 students every day in marketable technical skills. 731 students on scholarship. So I was talking before about Rotarians changing the world. When I and a bunch of other Rotarians started in Guatemala 25 years ago, 2 out of every 3 adults could not read or write. 2 out of every 3, that's a huge number. I remember being on a bus one time in rural Guatemala, and I asked a woman, I was lost, and I got out my map and I asked a woman, hey, could you help me get to the next village? She just backed away like this. She could not read a single word, could not read my map, could not help me. It's the face of illiteracy, 2 out of every 3 adults unable to read or write. So today, after all these efforts and working with other Rotarians and others, the rate of illiteracy is down to 1 in 3 adults, okay? 1 in 3. Still bad, still have a long way to go, but it shows that if we work together as Rotarians, we truly can move the needle. We can move mountains. We've reduced the rate of illiteracy in Guatemala by 50% in 25 years. So today I just talked about the 4 projects that make up the Guatemala Literacy Project. And today I'm going to focus in on just one of those, our RISE scholarship program. We have 731 kids on RISE scholarships. Okay, but before I do, let's have a little Rotary Trivia. So who is the man standing there in the blue suit? He is a former Rotary International president from Australia from 2017-2018. Anybody know who this Rotary president is? Any guesses? So this is Ian Risley from Australia with his wife, Julia. Ian came to Guatemala to visit this project. He's surrounded by girls who are beneficiaries, who've gotten scholarships and the chance to go to school because of RISE, because of this program. Okay, so let's zoom in on Guatemala now. So of all places in the world, why are we working in Guatemala? Why all the fuss about Guatemala? And why only Guatemala? Well, Guatemala is an island of illiteracy. All the countries around it have progressed in their literacy, except Guatemala. And Guatemala has been left behind. It is the most illiterate place in the Western Hemisphere. All the numbers for illiteracy in Guatemala are much higher than any country in the region. So as I said before, 1 in 3 adults still can't read or write. 70% of kids are pulled out of school by their parents before they reach the 7th grade. So 70% are out before the 7th grade because their parents cannot afford to send them on. A lot of people say that children in Guatemala are the most disadvantaged children in the hemisphere. 80% of them live in poverty. So these conditions of high poverty and very low literacy fuel migration northward. As we speak, unaccompanied children, largely from Guatemala, are flocking to our southern border. Guatemala is now the largest source country of undocumented migrants coming to our southern border. Last year, it passed up Mexico. And Mexico has 10 times more population than little Guatemala, but there are more Guatemalans coming north than Mexicans. I believe that no one should have to migrate to survive. And I think that most Rotarians can agree on the benefits of creating opportunities for people in their home countries. So here is what the Guatemala Literacy Project is offering. So in Guatemala, you have a situation where many kids are able to get to the end of grade school, the end of primary school, and that's the 6th grade. So you got lots of kids that make it to the 6th grade, but then, as we say, they're standing on the edge of a cliff. They cannot go any further. Their parents cannot afford to send them on. But where we need to get them is 12th grade. We need to get them to high school graduation. And if we can get them that far, we know statistically we will get them out of poverty. So they're stuck here at 6th grade. We need to get them to 12th grade. So RISE, quite simply, is a bridge that gives those 6 additional precious years of education, taking a kid from 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade and high school graduation, which then gets them out of poverty. But RISE isn't just a scholarship, okay? So we've learned over the years that if you want a kid to be successful in life, just staying in school and having the academic preparation isn't enough. They need additional life skills. So we provide a youth development program that gives these kids these additional skills. They get job skills, life skills, and they learn to do community service. So this student right now is learning how to interview. She's learning how to present herself well. The woman at the computer is a volunteer hiring manager with Domino's Pizza, and she is coming in and teaching our RISE students how to get a job, how to look you in the eye, how to show confidence so that you can land a job when you graduate. If you go to a Guatemalan school and you stand up in front of the kids and you ask them, when you grow up, what would you like to be? What are your dreams for your life? About 80% of the kids will raise their hand and they'll say, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. 80% want to be teachers. And why? Why so many teachers? Any ideas? So many kids in Guatemala want to be teachers because in their rural villages, it's the only professional person they ever see. They're not seeing accountants, they're not seeing architects, they're not seeing engineers. So what we do in RISE is we organize and mobilize local Rotarians who come out and do career panels. So local Rotarians from Guatemala City, from Shayla, they'll do career panels. They'll talk to the kids about their professions. I'm an architect, I'm an engineer, I'm a warehouse manager, I have my own business. The idea is to give kids some semblance of what possibilities there could be for them if they just finish their education and graduate from high school, okay? So what we find that what holds the kids back so often is very low expectations for themselves. And that's how we address that through the career panels. So the kids get workshops throughout the years. They learn financial education, self-esteem, human rights, leadership, and teamwork. We try to teach them how to identify problems in their own communities and present their own solutions to those problems. And of course, this would not be a Rotary program if there weren't a strong community service component. So the kids get together and they plan their own community service projects in their villages. So in a way, the kids receive a scholarship for free, but then they pay that scholarship back by giving back to their community. This is one of our RISE scholars giving a food bag to a homeless man in her own community. It is amazing and adorable and inspirational, the kinds of projects that these kids come up with. So some kids will paint public buildings. A lot of kids pick up trash. We've had kids do a recycling program where they'll scour the roads and walk for hours and pick up cans and bottles, and they'll make money with recyclables. Then they'll donate that money. We've had kids do organic gardens and they give away the produce. And some kids will go into the kindergartens in the first grade classrooms and teach the little kids how to brush their teeth. It's amazing the creativity that these kids show when they're designing their own community service projects. So there is an enormous ripple effect when you educate a child. So you're not just helping one person, you're actually changing the whole region and the whole world when you start educating people. Educating one child changes their family. Changing their family changes their community. Changing the community changes the country. If you change the country, you change the world. Huge ripple effect by educating just one student. And currently in the GLP, we're educating 750 students. So we're creating a middle class, and you can just imagine how that ripples out. Huge impact by educating one child. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little video today. This is a 2-minute video, and it tells the story of Estefana. Estefana is one of the recipients of this program. So she is like so many kids in Guatemala. She got to the end of 6th grade. Her parents could not afford to send her to school. She was getting ready to drop out. She would have repeated the cycle of poverty. Her parents are illiterate, but she got a chance, a precious chance to go to school through junior high and high school on a Rotary funded RISE scholarship. So she's going to tell you her own story.
Terminé de estudiar el nivel primario, no tenía posibilidad de estudiar, sin embargo mi mamá decidió apoyarme, pero cuando terminé el ciclo básico ella me dio la noticia de que ya no podía seguir estudiando, porque implicaba compromiso, ya que ninguna de mis 4 hermanas tuvo la oportunidad de estudiar e implicaba gastos. En ese momento me sentí muy triste porque uno de mis sueños se estaba apagando. Sabía de que si yo estudiaba, tendría un mejor futuro y mejores oportunidades, sería una mejor persona. En ese momento, la persona encargada del establecimiento, el director, nos habló sobre el programa de becas de COED. Sentí una gran bendición porque ya era una forma de ver cómo poder estudiar. Apliqué para la beca, llené las solicitudes. Sin embargo, a la hora de la entrevista, mi papá se opuso porque ninguna de mis hermanas tuvo la oportunidad de estudiar. Eso no fue obstáculo para que yo obtuviera la beca. Empecé a estudiar en el nivel diversificado y me esforcé bastante para poder mantener la beca. El programa de COED no significa únicamente cubrir los gastos de colegiatura, pagar los libros, uniformes y materiales, sino nos apoyan más que eso, como son los talleres. En cada taller impartido aprendí a ver la vida de una forma diferente, a ser perseverante, a tener aguante y sobre todo a tener liderazgo. Cada actividad que nos impartían los facilitadores nos dejaba siempre una enseñanza. Recuerdo con mucha emoción cómo Señor Ani participaba con nosotros. Para muchos, los talleres era el único lugar en donde nosotros podríamos expresar nuestros sentimientos. Ellos les importaba tanto el saber cómo nosotros nos desarrollábamos en nuestros estudios.
So that's Estefana's story. Her education is sponsored by 2 Rotarians from Paramount, California. Okay, another quick story. This is me 20 years ago in Guatemala. And 2 boys standing in front of me. The taller one is named Juan, and that's his little brother, Jose, standing next to him. So we were at a school delivering a Rotary-funded library. And we celebrated the arrival of the library with the community. We cut the ribbon, we delivered the books. And it was, at the end, it was free time to play with the kids. So I remember Juan well, because he was the only kid there who knew how to play Duck, Duck, Goose. I went up to Juan and I said, "Do you know how to play Duck, Duck, Goose? Pato, pato, ganso, pato, pato, ganso." And I flapped my wings like that. And Juan responded, "Ah, sí, pato, pato, ganso. I can play this too." And he started flapping his wings. We got all 20 Rotarians up and about 50 kids, and we're all playing Duck, Duck, Goose. And we had a great time. After the game, we learned that Juan, even though he was just in 2nd grade at the time, it was going to be his last year in school because his parents could not afford to send him off. We got him on a Rotary-funded RISE scholarship, and we got him through 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. When he got to 6th grade, he hit a roadblock. He failed math. And in Guatemala, if you fail math, you fail the whole year. You had to repeat the year. And in Juan's case, that meant that since he was held back, he was now in his little brother's class. So all those little kids sitting there, one kid a head taller than everybody else, and that was poor Juan. He so much wanted to drop out of school. After 2 weeks, he said, "I'm done, I'm dropping out." We begged him, we said, "Juan, please, please stay in school." And he did. He stayed in school, he persevered. He got through junior high. When it came time for high school, he hit another roadblock. There was no high school in his community. Nobody went to high school. There was no school. So he had to get on a chicken bus, and his mom packed him a lunch, and he traveled an hour each way to San Lucas, another nearby town, to go to high school, an hour each way. Finally, he became the first person in his extended family to graduate from high school. Huge milestone. Here's that same kid, Juan, today, 20 years later. He's now a college graduate. The building that he's standing in front of is the hotel he manages in Santiago Atitlan, Guatemala. He's married, he's got a kid, he makes 5 times more than his father. He is solidly middle class. Juan and his family are living, breathing examples and testaments to the power of a simple scholarship to reach into poverty and give a kid a hand up and open a door for him into the middle class. So it's Juan's story and 750 other stories just like Juan's that fuel my passion for this project. 87% of kids that graduate from this program, so almost 9 in 10, get jobs within 6 months, or they continue their education to the next level. Over half of them get a job that's good enough that they're earning money, enough money that they can pay for the education of their younger brothers and sisters. So in this way, one scholarship often multiplies into many scholarships. 100% of these kids get out of poverty. COVID-19 has been devastating to Guatemala. It's wrecked the economy. A lot of people sick. Many people have lost their jobs, and there are no safety nets. We've seen the number of kids on our candidate list grow to almost double. So twice as many kids need scholarships to go to school as did before COVID-19. Many families have fallen from poverty into extreme poverty. So me, along with the Rotarians that are part of the Guatemala Literacy Project, we are trying to respond to this devastation of COVID with a huge effort, a huge initiative to bring a cornucopia of scholarships to Guatemala. So we want to roll down there with a cornucopia of 750 additional scholarships to help kids go to school. There's nothing better that we can do for kids and for the country to help them recover from COVID-19, to get through the last parts of it and begin the recovery, then ensure that kids can go to school. 750 more scholarships is our goal. The blue box is where we are. The green box is where we're trying to go. So we're at 750. We're trying to double it to go to 1,500. I would like to invite your club. If you would consider joining us in this, we would love to have you become part of this effort, become part of our family in serving kids in Guatemala. So just something to think about. It's not a solicitation, it's just an invitation to join us. So Bob Draften went down with me just 2 years ago. He's from Sayville, New York, great Rotarian, and he said this has been a fantastic club project for his club. This is the past president of my own Rotary Club. This is Jim Hunt, and I can second what he is saying here, that this project has really lit our club on fire. So we're 30 members. Prior to this project, I'd say out of 30, we had 2 members who contributed to international service. 2 members out of 30. As soon as we started this program, now all 30 of us are involved in international service. So Jim organizes it. We do monthly contributions. Each one of us gives about $10 a month. And together as a club, we support the education of 4 students with RISE scholarships, 4 students. It is super fun to watch these kids grow up, watch them go through a year of school. We get pictures of them, we get thank you letters from them, we get updates. Great to see our Rotary dollars at work making the difference in the lives of these 4 specific kids. Great, great club project. Okay, another round of Rotary Trivia. Okay, who is the woman with the blonde hair on the left? Let's see who can guess it. I'll give you a hint. She is an incoming Rotary International president. She is going to be our first female president, and she will take office in approximately 1 year, in July of 2022. Who is this person? From Windsor, Roseland, Canada. Any ideas, any guesses? 100 points. This is Jennifer Jones. Jennifer Jones are going to be our first female president. It's going to be a fantastic year in Rotary. Jennifer is a huge supporter of this project. So this is Jennifer in Guatemala with us a couple of years ago, standing next to Rosa, the girls whose education she sponsors. Jennifer's club, also the Windsor Roseland Club in Ontario, Canada, also sponsors a scholarship. So again, I invite you to join us as a club. It makes a great club project. We would love to have you part of our family, part of our Confederation of Rotary Clubs that are all making this possible, to consider funding 1 scholarship. It's $960 to put a kid in school for 1 year, and that's all in. So relatively inexpensive to make it possible for a kid to go to school. Tuition, uniform, books, supplies, and the youth development program. If there's any members of the club who are interested in even just throwing in $5 or $10 or $20, just a small contribution, we've got the Astrid Fund. So any money thrown into the Astrid Fund, we will match that with money from other Rotarians and other Rotary clubs. And as soon as we get to $960, Astrid gets to go to school. So consider a contribution to the Astrid Fund. If you're just an individual Rotarian, if the club is not interested in moving forward, you can be involved just directly yourself. And I will be sending links out to your club for the contributions if you want to make them. Okay, so thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity of being here today. I'm going to leave you with our website. So it's www.guatemalaliteracy.org. So check us out. Again, it's one of the fastest growing and most exciting projects out there in Rotary. It's the largest grassroots multi-district, multi-club project. And we would love to have you on board with it and be part of our family. Again, wonderful to be with you all today. Thank you for the Rotary Fellowship, and we really appreciate the opportunity to connect. So you all have a wonderful week, a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and it's yours in Rotary service. Just checking out now. Thank you. Bye-bye.